Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to do a different video today because I felt a little inspired to do a sit down talk video all about my past 3 months of becoming a mom. So, a little bit of background on myself. I'm actually 28. I'm about to be 29 in 2 weeks, and I just had my baby girl about 3 months ago. So, it has been a whirlwind of a year. And to add to that, I also got married this past May. So, it has been a very, very busy 2025. And before all of this, it's amazing how I don't even remember who I was before getting pregnant, before this year. I just feel like so much has changed, not only for me physically, but also just mentally and in every sense of the way. I just feel like so much has happened that I haven't really had time to process what that even means. But along the way, I feel like the only way you really figure things out is when you're actually in the process and you're just doing and living life. And I just learned so much along the way. So, obviously, we all know the X's and O's of motherhood, breastfeeding, sleep schedules, wake windows, that kind of stuff. I feel like there's just so much information on the internet about what ways are best for you depending on your lifestyle. And that's all great. But I just kind of want to talk about the other side of the coin about motherhood that isn't discussed as much because I feel as if sometimes it's hard to offer maybe suggestions or helpful tips when people are already just trying to do the dang thing. They're already so tired, so limited on time, and they've already got their hands full if they have multiple children. So I feel like the thought of how do we want to create our life outside of just our roles as moms is such a hard conversation to have. But for me, I went into this thinking I just really want to have a well rounded life where I feel proud of what my role is as a mom, but I'm also feeling proud about myself. I'm not neglecting myself. I'm not shying away from, hard things in exchange of personal growth, building my character and overall building the dream life I want. Because the reality is, I wish I had prepared more before starting my family, but of course, the situation wasn't that. And now I'm here where I am a stay at home mom, but I don't also want to neglect the other side of wanting to provide and also wanting to give my family you know, nice things in life. I feel like every mom wants that, right? Like, I don't think every mom sits around at home thinking, I don't want to leave the house because I don't have, you know, outside income to be able to go do something fun or luxurious for the day. I feel like every mom struggles with the fact that they want to have more, but they also understand that they have 24 hours in a day and all of that is spent towards giving it to our children. So for me, early on, I really just wanted to create a lifestyle where I was doing what I needed to do, but I was also giving them my best because that's what we want to do at the end of the day, right? We don't want to give our limited time to other people. We only want to give it to who matters to us the most, which is our children. And so coming into this, I was just like, okay, how do I create a schedule where I obviously am taking care of my child and their needs are met, but I'm also working on the things that I need to work on in order to create my dream lifestyle. So, gonna get vulnerable here and just share a little bit about what I want to accomplish in the next maybe months, maybe a year, who knows. But I really do want to dive into creating another source of income virtually, which is why I'm starting a online fitness coaching business. I had already given it a go just about a year ago before getting pregnant, and I've seen success in it. I have been able to coach at least 12 clients in 1 month, and to me, that is already a great benchmark. And so I just want to continue something like that because I want to have other plans besides living where I'm living temporarily. I want to be able to spend X amount of months in a different place, depending on the time of the year, and not have to worry about returning back to work. So That's one goal, is to get that business up and going. But I'm also diving into content creation. I really enjoy YouTube. I have always been a fan of YouTube, and I am enrolled in a course online with a bunch of creators who are also trying to do the same. Shout out to Vlogging Academy. So that's another thing going for me right now. I want to grow this community to about 1,000 followers or subscribers. So if you're here, thank you for tuning in. If you like what you're seeing, please give me a subscribe or a like to give me some engagement, and I will make sure to create better content as I move forward. Anywho, yeah, that's the second thing. So I want to grow my content creation side project slash community. And the third is I want to be at my strongest, most fittest self in my life before 30. So a little bit of background about me. I have been weightlifting for 10 years, and before getting pregnant, I was probably at my peak level of fitness. And now, being postpartum, I really want to have the best physique that I could ever bring and train for. But I also want to be able to have some metrics that I meet. One being, I want to be able to hit a 7-minute mile. I know that sounds insane, but trust me, I think I can do it. I just know that it requires training. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to do another Spartan. And then I want to be able to do a marathon. Maybe a 5K, maybe the full, maybe a half. I don't know. But that's kind of a side goal that I have for myself. So just to put it out there, I have 3 goals that I want to accomplish outside of my role as a mom. And I do believe that having goals, having something to strive for is important. And in my life, those are things that I find fulfilling. Those are things that fill my cup. And I know that I can spend even just 30 minutes in my day, if that's all I have, towards those goals. And it's going to make me a happier, more fulfilled individual. And I do think that moms need that. I don't subscribe to the thought that you only need to give your 100% towards your kids and your household and your homemaking, and that's it. I don't subscribe to that belief. If you do, there's more power to you, but I don't. I truly do believe that we are put on this earth for many, many reasons, and we have other desires in our hearts that we want to fulfill. And if we ignore it, we kind of do a disservice to ourselves because it's not tapping into our fullest potential. And as somebody who works at a salon, I don't know if you knew that about me, but my day job is I am a hairstylist. I know you're probably getting whiplash about how many things I do, but I am actually a hairstylist by trade. That is my day job. I have been behind the chair for 5 years, in a salon for 10. And so I have come across many women in all ages, time and time again, tell me that they wish they had poured a little bit of something into themselves. And I really took those advice and that sense of wisdom to heart, because I knew that, all their kids have grown up and they've lived, very, very full lives. And they're reaching this point now where they're like, I don't really know who I am. I never really got the chance to explore anything other than, becoming a mom and taking care of my kids. And I think that was a different generation. I do believe that at the time, maybe early 2000s up until 2015, that era is very much, there was no opportunity for flexibility. There was only stay at home, be a mom, or leave your kids and go to a corporate job or go to traditional work. There was nothing like what we have today. And I think that's the beauty of being a mom in this modern age, is you really do have options. And yes, of course, it takes some restructuring and reprioritizing, but you have options, nothing like what other moms had in the past. And so I do think that that generation looks at us and thinks, wow, look at all the stuff that they have at their disposal. Not only that, but also education to be better moms, education, product, innovation. There's so many things for moms to use now that they never had before in order to just be better at in the home. Like I watch a lactation consultant through TikTok, and she taught me so much that I wouldn't have had that information, because I wouldn't have taken myself to appointments to see an actual consultant at a clinic. Like, those are just some examples of how much is at our disposal, and yet we may not even be using all of that to our potential. So if that's you, I urge you to have some belief that the type of lifestyle you want to create as a mom is attainable. And I know you might be thinking, okay, girl, like you only have one child, you've only been at it for 3 months, like slow your roll. I get that. But you know what? I feel great. I feel fulfilled. I feel good. And yes, it's challenging. I have my own set of challenges of being a mom and raising a newborn and my own struggle being a parent, but that doesn't discount the fact that don't we all just want to be happier and be better roles of parents? Like, I just think this discourse of easy for you to say, or the comparison game of like, well, you don't have a baby with colic, or maybe you don't have that many children, like, easy for you to say. It's like, let's just understand that don't we just want to feel good as a parent? Don't we just want to feel good as a mom? Like, isn't that something we can all agree on? Because that's how I want to feel as a mom. I don't want to be resentful. I don't want to feel depleted, like I totally neglected myself. I just don't want that life. And I just feel like life is too short. Every day is a gift. And I just would not look back on my life being like, wow, I settled. Like, I don't think a lot of people want to feel that way either. So sometimes I find myself restricting what I want to say because I fear that other people will discount me because I don't have as much experience being a parent right now. And just, yeah, I just feel like people will discount my experience because it seems so easy. When I tell you, I create structures and routines for myself that are going to allow me to achieve my goal. I solution seek. If I want to train and the evenings weren't working out, I tried going in the morning when I got a lot of sleep. And my version of a lot of sleep is at least a 3 to 4 hour stretch. So I'm right there with you as well. If you are somebody who's just absolutely struggling, I've had times where my baby wants to be up for an hour, hour and a half, every hour on the hour, and we're feeding for at least almost 40 minutes. Like, I too deal with the same things. I just think that I really truly envision a different way of mothering that I've never really seen before, I guess, because I feel like a lot of times people just kind of settle for their struggle and they don't want change. They just want to feel like a victim and have this mentality of, okay, well, it's hard for me, and so you won't understand because it's hard for people like me. And if that's the type of life and the type of routine you want to build for yourself, that do you, because this video is for the moms and for the girlies who are trying to achieve, want a different life in the future, or want to have a different outcome. That's who I'm speaking to. And I feel like I am just not seeing that. Maybe I haven't found it because I'm not looking for it, but I just feel like now that I'm really diving into the space of, being a mom and being in motherhood and watching all these people provide content, I'm just not seeing the example of we're going to choose excellence. We're not going to be a victim. We're going to choose to do things that we want because it's what fills our cup. We're going to do things our way because we believe that we want to be fulfilled individuals first. Like, I don't know, it feels wrong to say. It feels like, I don't know, I wrestle with a lot of those thoughts. And I feel like sometimes I just want to be authentically myself, but I fear that that's too authentic almost. And I just want to have that honest conversation, you know? Because I feel like behind closed doors, when I talk to women who've been moms for a while, who have older kids, they say the exact same thing. They all say, That's so awesome for you. I'm so glad that you are doing things and you're looking for ways to get back to life and not just be sucked into this endless hole if that's not what is healthy to you. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with really soaking in motherhood and just being so enthralled in it. There's a difference. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is there's a difference between a mom who truly enjoys the homemaking and sees the challenges as ways to build their character as a person versus somebody who wants to martyr themselves and act as if they don't have any options in life. I think that's where I'm really getting at because I feel like the way I receive a lot of that content is there are people who just simply don't feel like they have a choice to create another outcome for themselves as a parent, as a mom. And I just feel like, yes, you can. At least that's my thinking. In my thinking, I'm a yes, you can person. I believe you have the power to create whatever lifestyle you want, whatever dream you have. You just have to be willing to work for it. And that's my take on it. So if you're somebody who's like, I'm really scared to have a family because I just don't see this example in front of me that two things can be true, that you can find fulfillment in your role as a mom, but you can also continue to strive and fill what your heart desires. Like, I truly feel like we all wrestle with the same exact thoughts. We just haven't had this honest conversation about it. So for me, something that's helped me at least be a little bit more clear about where I'm going as a parent, as a mom, is I think of the three things that are needed in order to foster a good connection with my child. One, the most important thing is I need to provide safety. So, safety can mean so many things, making sure they're fed, making sure they're in the right place to have a nap so they're not, they're free from danger. They're not gonna, you know, they're in a safe sleeping condition, whatever. But then also, if you have bigger kids, it's making sure that, you know, you are aware of what you're posting online and how that'll affect them. You're aware of where you're sharing certain things and where it can get to, or it can even be if they're like teen and up, you know, safety in the sense that you give them certain boundaries of when they tell you where they're going to be at, or building that communication of, okay, you're going to go out and do your own thing, but make sure that if you ever need somebody, you let me know. You know what I mean? Like, that's safety, right? Safety to me is the most important thing we need to do for our kids, because you can't do everything else if you don't actually understand that you need to make sure they're safe. Like, there are parents who love their kids, who, provide for their kids, but they don't do things that are safe for them. Does that click a little bit? So that's step one. Step two is guidance, and then step three is love. To me, you need to do the first two before you start to show them you love and care, because by you providing safety for them and by you guiding them, that is you showing that you love and care for them. And I feel like the love aspect is something that you can already naturally do once you provide the first two. So guidance meaning, you steward them in the way that you want somebody who's a contributing member to society to be. Like, I think sometimes we forget, like, yes, we're like mom and we're taking care of a little one, or if we're so, sucked into just being a mom, right? As if it's not the most important role in the world. You're creating a human being who's going to be part of society one day. I've heard a saying before where it's like, we're not raising kids, we are raising adults who are in childhood. Does that make sense? Like, we are raising the future kids or the future adults of this world. So that's a big task, and it can feel like you're not doing much, but the fact that you have this person that you have been entrusted with to care and love for. That's your child. Like, that is such an honor to do. So I take that role seriously by being able to guide them correctly, and if with the best sense that I can. It means teaching them things. It means teaching them how to regulate their emotions. It's teaching them how to learn how to, yeah, how to regulate their nervous system. It means teaching them how to have communication skills by connecting with them, talking to them, interacting with them. Like, that's what I mean by guidance is the second part. Like, if you are home with your child but you're not giving them the time and attention to guide them, communication skills, like, this starts from newborn. I feel like if your newborn is there and you're not doing those things to foster a healthy communication, like looking them in the eye, like speaking, like, that's not loving them. If you're okay with just constantly being sucked into your phone and not giving them, tummy time, and thinking, okay, we can do that tomorrow. Like, it's this little things. So safety, guidance, and then love. Because with love, you can never give them too much love. So it's like, if I'm hitting those three, four, if I'm hitting those, okay, are you okay? If you're hitting those three things, I think I'm an exceptional mom when I'm hitting those three things. Everything else is out the window to me. If I don't get a certain brand of something, or if I don't do a certain activity, if I don't enroll them in certain sports, or if I don't take them on certain vacations, or if they don't get certain brand things to go to school with, let's not go there yet. Let's focus on the things that matter. Let's focus on the big pillars of a child's life that actually matters. So that's what I've adopted as my philosophy behind being a parent is safety, guidance, love. That's it. Everything else is a cherry on top. Everything else is my own personal take and my own experience of being what a mom is. And I feel like ever since I've honed in on that, I don't stress as much about X, Y, and Z, Like, there's so many things. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't think most parents who you can talk to who are, later in their life, they're not thinking about those things. And another thing that helped me out too is I talk to moms that I aspire to be like. That's just plain truth. Like, I think sometimes we take too much advice from too many people. We ask for too many inputs when we simply should stop doing that. We probably should just stop asking random people what their thought and opinion is, because what does that matter to you? What does it matter for a random person on the internet to tell you how they do something? It really, and if they offer it, if it's not what you believe, then don't let it bother you. Don't let it enter your mental. Like, it doesn't matter, because no one is with you behind closed doors in your everyday life. They don't have context behind your life. And this goes back to, again, when it comes to like feedings and all this and that, it's like they're not invested in your life, so how would they know what type of advice to give you? So you know what you do, go find those role model of women that you aspire to be like, and then form relationships with them so that they can teach you what they know, so you can be what they are already. There's people who find mentors for many different things, from sports to business to whatever. There should be for your role in motherhood. If this is your first stab at it, go find somebody that you like how they do things, you like how they feel and how they are as a person, their character, and follow what they do. Follow their belief system or follow their way of teaching, and then throw your own spin to it once you get more experience and you're a mom yourself. Like, I just feel like we are losing confidence in ourselves as moms early on because we're too busy asking advice from too many people, and it's not helping us become the type of mom we want to be, and it stops us from listening to our own intuition. I think that's a huge part about motherhood is having intuition. And I do feel like what's killing our natural ability to have that intuitiveness is listening to so many different people. We were not built to know and be in other people's minds that much. And same goes with how much we share. Like, we don't have to ask permission to do certain things we want to do. If you feel called to do something different for your family, or if you feel compelled to do something differently for how you care for your kids, do it. And then assess after. Like, why are we saying, what are we doing, girls? Or da 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 da. Why do we care? And why are we asking permission from other people who are not a part of our lives? It's one thing to share because this is how you like to express yourself, but it's another to harp on what other people are saying about how you do something. And if you are here to share, do it with your chest, because you're going to inspire somebody who has the same exact thoughts as you, who has the same way of thinking as you. That's the beauty about the internet. So, I'll leave you with that TED Talk because I hear my baby crying and I need to go tend to her. So I hope this video was somewhat helpful and we started an honest conversation, and I'd love to do it again sometime. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.